Hey dreamers, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Dee, and you are with me for another coffee, color, and chat. Now, my coffee, color, and chats can range from serious conversation, which possibly could have trigger warnings, or could have triggers for some people. And, we range from different topics, and that's okay because I just want you guys to get to know me. I want to get to know you a little bit better. I know my channel has been up for a while, but again, like I said in my last chat, that I'm trying something different to see what takes and what doesn't take. You may not like the things I'm talking about, and that's okay too. You don't have to. But I want to show you guys that, life isn't always as perfect behind the camera as it seems on, some channels. Not all channels, I'm just saying certain, like influencers, so to speak. They make everything seem so, like makeup influencers, they make everything seem so perfect and stuff, and their life isn't as perfect as what they make it, so... Anyways, I've got my coffee with me. Hopefully you've got your coffee, tea, hot chocolate, juice, pop, soda, whatever you are drinking. Put your feet up or grab a page to color, and we are just going to, talk away, I guess. And that's where we're gonna, I guess, go with it and just see what the conversation turns into. So my last coffee, color, and chat, I had a few people ask me to discuss some things along the mental health kind of, what's the word, topic, I guess. Actually, let's start with my title page for my journal. Let's do that first for my November journal. We'll start there. While we talk, just give me a minute. I just need to grab everything I need for the title page. Uno momento. Okay, so I grabbed everything real quick. So I just wanted to touch base on just mental health and coloring, and just some major points. I'm not going to get into too much detail about everything, but I just wanted, because when COVID hit, adult coloring became a lot bigger than what a lot of people realized, like, because we were isolated in our homes for a couple of years. So with that, people were looking for things to start doing, while they were home and whatnot. So the adult coloring world started up, and well, it had been for a while, but it became a lot more pronounced, I guess, or more popular, so to speak. And throughout that, people realized the benefits that adult coloring had on their mental health, whether it was depression, anxiety, like bipolar myself. Me, I started adult coloring long before COVID, so as you guys saw in my last coffee, color, and chat, if you haven't seen that, you can go back to it, you can rewatch it. But coloring calms the brain down, if it makes sense. It relaxes the body and it reduces stress. And I have done research, so just bear with me. There was a study done during COVID with people doing art stuff and people doing other stuff, like other activities. And this study proved that 56% of the people who did adult coloring, there was a calming effect after they were done, because the mind is focused on something. It helps the brain focus on whatever, and it kind of stops you from thinking the things that you were thinking, if that makes sense. And so there was that study done which proves that adult coloring for mental health is a giant benefit to anybody who has or is suffering with mental health issues. Because there is no right or wrong way to color. You know, we're not as hard on ourselves, or we don't look for that perfection when we're creating, because we're so focused on what we are creating that, you know, we're not thinking good or bad. We're just focused on the moment. And that's where they say that, you know, that moment of clarity during mental health issues, it's there, and it's a gigantic benefit to people who suffer from you know, anything mental health wise. You're so focused on your movement and the sensations of like the repetitiveness or whatever you're doing on your page. You're so focused on that you're more in tune with your emotions. It usually gives you, again, like I said, that calming effect. Now, I am not a psychologist, and I never claimed to be. So let me just put that out there. I had never claimed to be a psychologist, and I'm not saying, you know, I'm just putting it out there from the research that I had read. It is considered a great distraction, and it is considered an approved method with psychologists now for people suffering with anxiety, depression, and all that stuff, that it is an approved method with psychologists to suggest adult coloring. My grandmother was 98 with dementia, living in, you know, an old age home, and it improved her motor function. She had severe crippling arthritis before she passed. I remember her taking care of us, and her crippling arthritis was bad. It helped improve her function, her brain function, everything. So if that, you know, if that doesn't prove to a degree, you know, what what is possible, then I don't know. To me, that just proves right there how much, you know, of a great benefit it is to anybody, even, like I said, even people in old age homes. I mean, it just proves that, you know. So I just wanted to put it out there. I was asked to discuss it, and you know, I was asked to actually talk about my bipolar as well, because bipolar is a very difficult mental illness to explain, to be honest. The thing, if you're not diagnosed, if you haven't, I'm trying to think of the wording. So I wasn't diagnosed until later in life with my bipolar. My family just thought I was possessed by a demon because my grandmother was very religious growing up. And they just thought I was possessed by some kind of demon or, evil force. They didn't realize that it was an actual mental illness until I was diagnosed with it. Yeah. So I went diagnosed a lot. I went undiagnosed for a long time. And the only time I got diagnosed is when I had a manic episode and I literally tried to do something that I shouldn't have, but I did. And I overdosed on a bunch of pills. I just took handfuls of pills that I had in my house. And yeah, so that was that. I was in the psych ward for, I think it was a month and a half I was there. And I realized how much damage I had done to the people around me, because when you're bipolar and you have a manic episode, you don't care about the people you hurt. You don't care about, anything except yourself. You're just so focused on yourself that, you just don't think about it. And yeah, that's the way it happened. And I'm glad I got diagnosed, to be honest, because if I hadn't been, I don't know where I would have been. And these are not very straight lines, are they? So yeah, that was fun. But the manic episodes are the worst when you're bipolar. You do stupid crap. And I mean really stupid crap. Don't get me wrong. And you don't know why you're doing it. It's your brain telling you, do it, do it, do it. And if you don't do it, then it'll just drive you to insanity. Literally, it will drive you to insanity. I'm not kidding. And so yeah, it's honestly very, very hard to explain the manic episodes, especially if one has not been through it, if that makes sense. If you haven't been through every mental illness has certain things, and I get that. I do, because I have different things. I have a mental illness myself. But the thing with being bipolar is when you have friends, you're always looking for approval. Even with my husband, I'm always looking for that approval of, that they care about me, that they do love me for who I am. And, yeah, I say stupid shit. I say, this and that and whatever, but it's still, you need that approval. You need that constant, you're not alone kind of feeling, no matter what. And it becomes hard when, somebody stops talking to you, or, out of the blue, or whatever it may be. Even if they're busy, it's hard to explain. It really is very hard to explain that feeling. I don't know how to explain that feeling, to be honest, because it's just that feeling that you've done something to upset that person, or you're not good enough, or you're not smart enough, or anything like that. And it honestly is very hard, and then those thoughts come into your head. You know, what ifs, and what did I do, or, you know, and I know it can drive, you know, friends crazy and stuff like that. I understand that. But if you can understand, you know, your friends or your family's mental illnesses, you just, or their flaws or their downfalls, then, you know, and you try to accept everybody, because you know that feeling of not feeling good enough for that person or people in your life. I feel like an inadequate mom all the time. And I know my kids tell me that they love me and that I'm a good mom and this and that, but it's still that feeling of inadequacy in the background. It's that low self-esteem, low confidence. And literally, it's constant. You're always worried about that approval. And my husband can tell you, like, I need that constant reassurance, if that makes sense. And yeah, it'll drive people till, you know, and it's hard to, you know, talk to people about the situation, to be honest. And I have some, you know, friends that understand, probably because they have mental illnesses of their own and stuff. But who doesn't in this world? In these days, holy hell, let me tell you. I just wanted to put it out there that it's that constant, bipolar is a constant, like, even medicated. I've been medicated for years and years I've been medicated, but I still feel that inadequacy all the time. And even with my YouTube channel, I'm very self-conscious. And it's nothing that anybody's done. It's just that feeling in the back of your head. But anyways, that's that. That's my little quip. If that makes sense. And I want everybody to feel comfortable enough to talk, you know, about how they feel, and we shouldn't hide it. I mean, maybe in the old days it was hidden from everybody, but nowadays it shouldn't be hidden. It should be talked about, because if we don't talk about it, then we can't help fix the problems, if it makes sense. And like my husband says, in today's days, in today's world, we need to start working together as a society, as a community, because we will get further if we work together, as opposed to working against each other, which is what the world, a lot of people have done. They have shut themselves out. Since COVID, I believe it's gotten worse. Like, I've seen it getting blah before COVID, but when COVID hit, it's gotten even worse. Because those isolation and you know, there's no communication. Kids nowadays, they don't even know how to talk to people. They want to talk to somebody or ask them a question, they text it. Excuse you, I'm standing right in front of you. Use your words. You know, no need to text it. No need to, like, you go hang out with your friends, and what do? They text each other back and forth. They don't talk. Hello? What in God's name has happened to this world? And I get technology has, you know, it's there, but come on, people. You know, what happened to going to a coffee shop and chatting with people? And I think a lot of that has to do with why I started my coffee, color, and chat too, is because of that reason. Because we need to talk and get a dialogue going instead of, you know, not saying a bloody word to people. You know, it's just sad, that's all. really is just a sad thing that a lot of us, I can do it. I mean, I can carry on a conversation with anybody, to be honest. But yeah, it's just today's world, and it is a very sad one, if you ask me. Very, very sad one. We need to learn to communicate again, and even in schools. I mean, kids don't even know what cursive writing is. Are you kidding me? Really? Cursive writing? Nobody knows what that is. Yeah, I remember in the 80s and 90s, family was, you would go to family members' houses and on the weekends and just, hang out with your cousins and, have fun and whatever. Nowadays, are you kidding me? That ain't happening. And it doesn't matter how much you try. You can try all you bloody well want. And I know it's up to us to make it what it is. But you know what? In all honesty, I don't know anymore. You can try all you want, but I don't think people, it's not like that anymore. And I really wish it was, because I wish my girls, would spend time with cousins and hang out and, stuff like that. I loved those days growing up, to be honest. I really did. Where you would just go bike riding with your cousins when you go visit and this and that and anything. But now, I don't know. Things are just so different. And, I know you can't go back in time. I mean, maybe you can. I don't know. I'm just saying. I know that we can't go back in time to, enjoy, or for our kids to see what, like I told my daughter the other day that, I wish I wish I could have raised them in the, 80s and 90s, because I think things would be so much different. And yeah, again, I could raise them like that, but I don't think they're really interested, to be honest. They really don't want anything to do with it. I mean, my kids are great. I'm not saying my kids aren't good kids, because they really are. And I'm super glad at least my kids have manners. And like when we go out in public, they say excuse me. And my youngest daughter, she will put the phone down and stuff like that. And so will my 17-year-old. But you don't see kids out on the streets and hanging out with their friends until the streetlights come on anymore. You don't see any of that. And I think I miss all that. I really do. Going and knocking on your friends' doors at, hey, can so-and-so come out and play? Yeah, I miss those days. I really do. And I know my husband does too. There's a song by Nickelback called Those Days. And he sings about all those nostalgic things that we would be doing. Going to the mall, getting records and CDs, the newest records, CDs, whatever was out at the time. And yeah, just, just one of those things that I kind of miss. And I mean, let me know if I'm a little on the crazy side, which I'm okay with. Like I've said before, you can tell me I'm crazy, because I know I am. That's okay. I just, wanted to talk about a little bit about, what I kind of wish was a little different, And again, we make it what we make it. It's just like the holidays, I don't want the holidays to be about the gifts. And my girls know it's not about the gifts anymore. They definitely know that. And, they don't worry about that and stuff like that. But I just, I want that family time back. And yeah, we do have family time. Christmas Eve, we usually, you know, hang out as a family. We do their Christmas jammies and all of that. And then we watch Christmas movie and hot chocolate and stuff, which I love. Then Christmas morning, they open their gifts and we spend time with them and see their smiles, which is great. And, you know, we stress over, you know, we all stress over the holidays and Christmas and stuff like that. And getting the right gift, or, you know, making sure everything is just the way you want it. For what? For one day. One day. And you can make those days any day. It doesn't have to be the holidays. It doesn't have to be the holidays at all. It can be any day. Why does it have to be just at the holidays that we show each other how much we care and how much we love each other? Shouldn't be that way. Used to be that you could do it, like I said, any day of the year. But it just seems like people seem to do it. It's almost like they're on autopilot, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? It's kind of like autopilot turns on for the holidays, and people are just like zombies pretty much. Oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. And it's like the same thing every year. Need to change it up a bit. And I think people won't be so depressed and anxious and all of that over the holidays, because, you know, if you change it up. Sorry, I was taking a sip of my coffee. If we change it up, then, you know, it gives us that little bit of glimmer that life doesn't have to be on repeat. It really doesn't have to be on repeat. And I was just talking to my husband earlier today, and I said, you know, the one thing I absolutely don't look forward to is when I have to go to the store to pick up a gift, is looking at all these people with these nasty bah humbug faces, you know, on the look on their faces, like, oh, I have to do this again. They're dragging their feet, and, you know, Christmas music is playing. I'm singing along and dancing and whatever, and these people are just so blah and bah humbug. If you're gonna be bah humbug, go home. Please go home. It's just like customer service. If you don't like your job, don't work in customer service. If you're not a people person, please, please, please do not work in customer service. Anyways, enough of my ranting. The only other thing I wanted to discuss was about Amazon. Well, I do want to color with while we're here together. Whoopsie. Is things I think Amazon for like from a colorist consumer perspective. One, I think they need to start making sure that when people post for post a coloring book or whatever to sell a coloring book, I think it would be great if they at least showed some sample pictures, and not only the best pictures in the book, because that's not cool at all, by sharing just the best pictures in the book. Let's just put it that way. I'm not thrilled with that. And the other thing that I think they need to do is watch for AI. Like, I guess they don't verify anymore, or what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know if it's verify or whatever, but they need to start verifying and vouching for oops, sorry guys, for some of these coloring books being posted. Make sure they're not, what's the word, copyright. Now, I'm not great with calligraphy writing, so please do not hold me to this. But yeah, those are some things I wish they could change on Amazon, or these little things, you know. What else would I like them to change? I mean, the prices are getting a little bit on the ridiculous side, if you ask me, to be honest. The prices are just a little bit, I mean, for Hannah Carlson books, and like Emily Lydhollow Berg, and, what's her name? Johanna Basford. Sorry, the name, brain fart, comes with old age, I suppose. Those I can understand the pricing, but Amazon printed books like paper, they should not be any more than like $9 or $10. And this whole freaking, you know, gone up to, in Canada at least, they've gone up to, I've seen $15, $16, and it's absolutely ridiculous. I am not paying that price. I will not. Not for an Amazon printed book. Now you can let me know what you guys think. I don't know, but that is my opinion, to be honest. Because yeah, that's yikes. Just yikes. Too much, if you ask me. Now, I think I know I've turned to Temu a lot, and I know there's a lot of people who are like, no, I'm not doing Temu, that's just not, you know, not happening, da-da-da-da-da. And that's okay. Everybody likes what they like, and everybody has their own opinions, and, you know, it is what it is. But in all honesty, I mean, I don't buy coloring books from Temu. That's the one thing I don't do. But sorry, lost my train of thought again. Good Lord. Yeah, I'm just drawing a blank at the moment. I apologize. Joys of getting old. I love it. Anyways, this is my title page. Not the greatest, but I saw this done on, I think it was TikTok. Somebody was doing like a quick journal kind of spread sort of thing. And I kind of just mimicked, I guess, the look. I do need to do something though, because there is something I wanted to do differently, and that was a dotted line sort of thing. So anyways, yes, there are some new coloring books that are coming out. I was amazingly gifted by an amazing subscriber who would like to remain anonymous, the new R.J. Hampson book, as well as the new Camellia Angelkova, what do you call it? The Arctic Miniatures book, which on my last live I did a page, and I think it turned out absolutely adorable. And again, this isn't going to be perfect. And you guys mean a lot to me, because without you there wouldn't be my channel. And you know, just wanted to, I'm really enjoying these coffee color and check-ins, because even with my brain farts and all, I can still talk to you guys, like, without, I guess, feeling pressured. Because when I do my lives, and I love doing my lives with you guys, but it feels like you're pressured into talking, because if you don't talk, then there's no dialogue kind of thing going on, if that makes sense. I could feel crazy, I could be crazy, and that's okay. But that's how I feel, that when I'm doing my lives, I feel obligation to talk with you guys, because I did my live, and I'm not going to be rude and not say a word, and whatnot. So on here, I don't feel that obligation. I mean, obviously I have to talk, because, well, obviously it's not, it's kind of a need that I need to talk with you guys, because, can't just leave you guys hanging. So, anyways, so yes, the mental health and coloring is a huge thing right now, that, like I said, psychologists are even recommending adult coloring to their patients for therapy, which is cool. Instead, I mean, some people don't want to do medications, which is fine. And a lot of people don't like taking medication, which I understand too, because it took a while before they found the right one with me. And I know other people who have struggled having to go through different medications as well before the right one is found. And sometimes they don't even find the right one, So it's a lot of ups and downs, and it's a very, very nauseating roller coaster ride when trying to find the right medication for whatever you're diagnosed with. And sometimes you can be misdiagnosed. It does happen, and I've seen it happen. And the misdiagnosis is absolutely incredible, and it's like, really? They've been medicating you for this all these years, and then you find out it's completely something else, and then it's that roller coaster all over again. So I do understand why some people and a lot of psychologists will try to utilize other non-medication ways to help your anxiety, your depression, your whatever it is, ADHD, bipolar, all of that. I get why they try to do non-traditional coping skills and ideas. So one of those things is the adult coloring. Give me a second. All right, back to this. So yes, non-traditional methods as to how to cope with certain things, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And then mostly psychologists and psychiatrists will not really prescribe, because it's not like a prescription, it's just ideas that they will try with you. It helps improve sleep habits, because if you color before bed, just like reading a book, it's like a non-electronic kind of activity, which kind of calms the mind down and slows it down, and you're not focused on seeing or reading whatever it is online and stressing and worrying about it. And that's what they say anyways. It calms the mind, and it allows for the mind to open up to creativity and creativeness, and it opens up those brain waves for some creativity. And you know what? whether it looks like a rainbow threw up all over your page, or, you know, we all start somewhere. Let's just put it that way. We all start somewhere in our coloring journey, and, you know, however the page goes, as long as you feel satisfied and happy with the outcome of it, then, you know, you should feel thrilled about it and excited that, you know, you were able to create something without having to worry about everything else that you were worrying about, if that makes sense. And, you know, a lot of us, again, back to this COVID thing, a lot of people started coloring because COVID, they needed something to do. And they didn't even realize the therapeutic benefits behind adult coloring, to be honest. They were being helped without even realizing they were being helped, if that makes sense. And again, I am not a psychologist. I am not a doctor. Please, no nasty comments, because there's no need for it. I'm just going by what I've seen when I was looking up stuff to talk to you guys about, because I'm not going to give you guys... I mean, yes, I'm giving you my opinion and my thoughts as well, but I also saw that there was a study done for adult coloring and stuff like that by doctors and stuff. But again, I am not a psychiatrist or a doctor. They have enough of their own problems. I'm trying to be rude, but it's true. They have enough to deal with on their own. So, yeah. And like I said, there is no right or wrong way. There's no limit. There's, you know, to how long you color. There's no limit to any... There is no limitations on you as a person. And I know life can demand a lot of, you know, things in your life, and it can demand, you know, a lot of life can put limits, and with coloring there is no limit. I was trying to find the right way to word it, if that makes sense. And I know that's the word of the day, if that makes sense. And that will be the word of the day, if it makes sense to you. Because I don't want anybody to think that otherwise. So, go away, flies. So this page I am coloring. I'm trying something different with myself and my cute, comfy, and cozy books. It is from Cuddly Buddies by Pika Pollo. And I used to color with straight pencil years and years ago. And then I realized that you could shade over top of alcohol markers with pencils. So I started coloring that way. And then when these cute, comfy, and cozy books came out, I just strictly started coloring with the alcohol marker. So the other day, I think it was in my live on Saturday, I colored a Camellia Androkova page from the new book, and I based it with the alcohol marker, and I colored over top and shaded over top with colored pencil. And I forgot how fulfilling that was, and it made me feel a little better about coloring. Not saying that I'm going to do it all the time in my cute, comfy, and cozy books, but I wanted to try it with this page. So I'm basing this in my alcohol markers, and then I will be shading it over top with my colored pencils, but by the time I get to the colored pencil part, we'll be done the video anyways. So yeah, and the other thing is, like I said in my first coffee color and chat, is the videos all depend on, you know, what I have to say, what I'm thinking, what, you know, I may have more to say one day than I do another. So again, the video all kind of goes by what I'm saying, and I'm feeling a little better than I did my first coffee and color chat. If, you know, so I'm a little bit more talkative today, because the first one I wasn't sure how I was going to go with it and how people were going to react to it. So I was a little, going into it, I was very self-conscious. It's that bipolar thing again. And it's not just bipolar that makes me feel self-conscious. It's just me in general. But the bipolar has a lot of influence on it, to be honest. And there are some people in this world that use their mental health issues and whatnot as an excuse and a scapegoat in life. I try to avoid as much as possible. Like I explained to you guys, kind of my bipolar and why I do certain things the way I do them, but I'm not using it as an excuse. I know what I'm doing wrong, and I know, you know, certain things. I just, yeah, it's really hard to explain, but I know in my heart that the people who are my friends and my family, they love me for who I am, flaws and all. But sometimes those flaws like to sneak up into my head and say, hey, you know, I'm going to screw with your head today, and yeah, we're going to do this. So yeah, that's just the way my brain kind of was and does work in mysterious ways. So yeah, kind of, you know, again, I'm not using it as an excuse. It's not an excuse to act like an idiot. And it's not an excuse to be a total jerk to people. I try not to. Sometimes my words come out like word vomit. My mouth engages before my brain, and I don't mean it. I don't, or the words come out wrong, and it's not an intentional thing. It just does it. My husband tells me all the time, watch your mouth, you know, be careful how you say things, you know. And because of that reason, is because a lot of the time the words come out like word vomit, and they just kind of pour out before my brain even engages what I'm even saying. So, it's, yeah, it is heartbreaking for me, and I hate it, but at the same time, certain things need to be said when they, you know, at certain times, and especially when it comes to protecting my children, I will engage mouth before brain, for sure. That is a definite. The mama bear comes out when it comes to my kids. So yeah, I will protect my kids at any cost. And I will protect friends at any cost. You know, when the need arises, I will protect my friends and my husband and my family. Again, when the need arises. So, just got to turn this around here. So yeah, that is, you know, let me know if you think, if Amazon should change, or your thoughts on what Amazon would benefit from, like, as like a colorist or like a consumer or like a customer. What do you think they should change? So yeah, just let me know if there's anything you think Amazon should change. I dealt with Ohuhu, for those of you who know that I was kind of in like a back and forth with Ohuhu over some dried markers in my latest set that I got. And I think I used the marker like once or twice, and it literally dried out on me. There was 2 of them. So I didn't message Amazon, I messaged Ohuhu customer service. If you're ever having an issue like that, don't message Amazon. I mean, you can get a refund from Amazon, but message Ohuhu customer service. Their customer service isn't great. I went back and forth for almost a whole month of emails, explaining to them that, they need to replace. Well, at first they were like, oh, well, we'll just give you like $4 to replace the marker. Well, you can't buy the marker single. So I was like, well, that won't work because that doesn't even cover the cost of one marker to ship. Plus, you guys don't sell them singles. So then it was, oh, well, we can replace the set that has both those markers. We can give you a 48 pastel set that has both of those markers that, that were in the set that were dried out. I was like, okay. So then they tell me that it'll take a month because they were sold out of that set. So I checked on Amazon and I said, well, they're not sold out on Amazon, so can you just send me the an Amazon gift card with the price of it, and I'll purchase the set myself. Okay, what you can do is you purchase it and we'll reimburse you once you purchase it. I'm like, no. That's not gonna fly either, because it says in your pamphlet, right in their pamphlets, it says, let me see if I can find one of their pamphlets around here. I have my book, or my markers here. Just don't know if I have the pamphlets around. Bloody hell. Do none of my things have the pamphlet? Alright, let's use one of their, oh, this is their new one. Trying to see the old pamphlet that I had. Let's see. Does it have it in this? These are one of the old pamphlets. Let me see. I think these are their newer ones with questions. So they changed the wording, because in the old pamphlets it said that it had a bunch of questions. My markers dried out, I'm trying to see if I can find one of those old pamphlets. This one? Yes, it is. This is one of their old pamphlets. Okay. So in their old pamphlets, right here, we used to get this. And these are facts and questions. I got a dried out pen upon arrival. It says a free replacement is on its way to you. So the other question is, the pen dried out after multiple uses. A free replacement is on its way to you, and please ensure the caps are secured when not in use. And then the pen is bleeding when I got it, and all of this amounts up to free replacements. They will replace it. So I brought that up to them from their pamphlet, and that's when they decided they were going to replace the set. And then they told me that it would be a month before they were in stock again. And I was like, no, that because it's on Amazon that they're in stock, so you can't be out of stock. And they're like, okay, well, if you buy it and we'll reimburse you. I was like, no, that won't work either, because it shouldn't be left up to me to pay for the set and then what, you're not going to reimburse me for it. That's not happening. So then they decided on, it took them a couple of days before they got back to me, and they said, okay, because of that reason, we'll send you a brand new 96 set of pastels that, you know, we have. Those are in stock. We'll send them right out to you. Okay, great. You know, that sounds great. Sure, I'll take it. But I said to them at the end, I said, if you're going to put these things in your pamphlet, like this here, if you're going to say this, when your customers come to you, you might want to fix it, or, you know, honor what's in the pamphlet, because people are going to get upset. And I think they were more surprised that I actually read the pamphlet and looked at the, like, what to do if a marker is dried out, because I remember seeing the questions and stuff. So I looked it up in the pamphlet, and that's when it said a free replacement, you know. And the funny thing is, it says a free replacement is on its way. And yes, they do make refill inks for certain markers. Only a select few, though. Not all of them. It's not like the Copic markers. Ohuhu only has a select few refills for markers. So, that's another thing to think of. So after I guess they were in the midst of changing their pamphlets. I don't know. But I told them, you know, you have to honor this when people come to you. It's not right. And I know a few people, after I had that issue with Ohuhu, they were going through the same thing. And I said, don't, and even Zoe said, don't take that crap from them. You tell them, like, this is the way it has to be, or the way it should be, because it's not right how, you know, I get a faulty product from you guys, and yet we're the ones who have to replace it. It doesn't make sense. So, yeah. So, right here, if you ever have an issue, there's the support@ohuhu.com if you have any issues. Now, this is the old pamphlets they used to send out. Now, the pamphlets are like a book, a whole book. You got? And these are the questions now that they have. They've changed the answers. They've changed everything. So the one question is, I received a dried out / bleeding / defective marker. What can I do? And now the answer is, instead of a free replacement, it's on its way. Now the answer is, while we always stand behind our products, defects do happen, and we always strive to fix it immediately. Get in touch with our customer service team at support@ohuhu.com, and we'll find a solution for you. Now, that's a big, long answer compared to a free replacement is on its way, when it says, I got a dried out pen upon arrival. Like, I'm kind of glad that they're a little bit more in depth, but it went from this to this, and I think it's because, don't quote me on it, but I think a lot of it has to do with they didn't realize people were actually reading their pamphlets, and I guess their words were coming back to bite them in the butt. So, that's just personally me. I mean, Ohuhu is a great brand. I'm not knocking them at all. Please don't think I am, because they are a great brand. I love my Ohuhu markers. And out of all the Ohuhu sets I've gotten over the years, that was like the first set that I had ever gotten like a dried out marker for. So, yeah. So don't think that I'm knocking them, or I don't want them to think I'm bashing them. I was just trying to explain my experience that I went through trying to get stuff replaced from them. Because I guess a lot of people kind of have been going through the same thing. Now, I don't think it's Ohuhu itself. I think it could be the way Amazon is storing them. I don't know. I don't know if it comes straight from the Ohuhu warehouse or wherever it comes from. I just know that that's, yeah, that's the situation, if that makes sense. So, so yeah, that is my rant for today's coffee color and chat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to base all this in alcohol marker, and then I am going to shade in pencil crayon, colored pencil, however everybody calls them. Some people call them pencil crayons. They call them colored pencils in the US. You know, whatever you call them. That should be another coffee color and chat. How different words and sayings are from different countries. That would be a cool one. That would be a fun one, actually, to see how words differ from Canada, US, Europe, and like UK area and stuff. Also, another thing I like looking up is the old laws that used to be enforced in the US and in certain countries. There are some crazy laws that I've seen, and they're not, I mean, they've actually been written into, you know, they were considered laws at one point, and I think that would be a fun one to do as well, as a coffee color and chat. I think that would be fun to do. Now, I didn't mean to trigger anybody. That wasn't the intention of this chat. I want everybody, like I said, to feel open and comfortable with talking about anything and everything. Coloring isn't just about, you know, coloring. It's about opening, you know, like I explained to you guys that, you know, when we color, we open our mind up to emotions and you know, things in the moment, and we focus more on what's happening in the moment than we do in most things in our lives. So that's what I wanted to really focus on in these color and chats. And like I said, I want to get to know everybody, good and bad. You know, I know a lot of people don't like to talk about, you know, the downfalls in their life, but at the same time, those downfalls are part of what make us us. And again, it's nothing to be ashamed of. It really isn't. It's part of who you are. Doesn't mean it's who you are in general, but it's just a small part of what makes you you. Because you've overcome that, whatever it is you've overcome. And you're still here, stronger for it. And yes, it still sticks in the back of your brain. Don't get me wrong, I've gone through a lot, especially growing up with my dad. My brother was more the golden child than I was because I was girl and he was boy. That's a whole different story. But, you know, it's part, again, of what makes me me. And, you know, I can't change that fact, but I am who I am because of, you know, what I went through as a young girl and stuff like that. So, Again, there are a lot of people that don't like to discuss it and talk about it, and there's something under here that's going to drive me crazy if I don't get rid of it. It's like a rock or something. I don't know. Like a piece of... Anyways. And so, yeah. Anyways, I want to thank you for joining me in this week's coffee color and chat. Again, I didn't mean to trigger anybody. I didn't mean to, I'm not stepping on anybody, and I'm not running any companies down. I was just talking about how I feel, and you know, I was asked to discuss a certain topic, which is fine. If you have anything you want me to talk about, I can do that too. Anything. Doesn't matter what it is. It is an adult coloring channel, so of course it's going to be topics meant for obviously adults and us, you know, just as people and as a coloring community. We're all here for a reason. It may not be, you know, for anxiety or anything like that. You could have just started coloring just for the sake of coloring, because it, you know, something you love to do. Art is something that brings lots of people together, different people from all over the world. And like my husband says, it takes all sorts to make the world go around. So, you know, it makes me kind of think of that picture of the earth, and then all the different races and different people standing around it in harmony and joined hands and all as one. And I think that is a very, that picture speaks volumes, to be honest. And I think that's what, you know, in my opinion, it really is. It does make all sorts to make the world go around. It also takes a village to raise a family nowadays, especially with the inflation prices and stuff. They were just talking about it on the news, about how living in Ontario, Canada, is getting to the point where it's so hard to survive and live. It's too much for all of us, but we're still doing it. And we are helping each other out when we can, especially, you know, I mean, there are some people that are like, oh no, this is mine, greedy, right? But, and it kind of reminds, that mine reminds me of the Muppets that go, mine, and the seagulls too. I believe it's in Toy Story, the seagulls that go, mine, yeah. So that's what it makes me think of. But there are good, amazing people out there as well that are willing to help and help support each other, whether it be emotionally, financially, however people want to help out. You know, that's just the way it should be. And I remember my grandparents talking about stuff like that. Even my neighbor, who's 80 years old, talks about how things were just so simple back then, and everybody helped everybody, and everybody watched each other's children on the street, and you know, it was just a community of love, and I think that's what the world should be. But unfortunately, it's not always the way we want it to be. So anyways, I want to thank you all for joining me. I enjoyed talking to you guys and starting my journal title page anyways. And let me know what you guys think. This will obviously be live as a premiere on Tuesday, so I can chat with you guys for however long the video runs for, that first time that it shows, or that it's posted. And after that, you can just leave comments on the video. Let me know what you think. Let me know, you know, anything, any thoughts about the video in general, like a topic, or, you know, please feel free to open up. My first video, a lot of people messaged me and talked to me and thanked me about, you know, opening up to them, and they opened up. And it was great because I was happy that I was able to kind of help people just not be so self-conscious about opening up. Not everybody feels that way, but some people do, and it made me smile that I could help in some sort of way. And it's not always negative. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm trying to put out some good feels into the world and into the community, because we need to also show our highs and our lows. And a lot of people don't do that, if it makes sense. Okay, so where was I? Yes. The video that I'm doing, you know, I don't mean to upset anybody. I just want everybody to feel like they can open up. And I have helped people. Like I said the last time, a few people messaged me and they were kind of really happy to have opened up, and, you know, and it really made me smile. So I wanted to try something different, and I really hope that you guys can understand and see where I'm trying to come from, because I think we need more of it in our world and stuff, because I try to teach my girls that, you know, being honest and opening up and talking about stuff will help in the long run. And there are people out there that don't think that it does, and in all honesty, it does, but only when you're ready to talk about it. And I'm not forcing anybody to talk to me about it or to anybody about it. Just know that you can reach out to somebody if, you know, if you're feeling alone, which I've felt before, if you're feeling self-conscious, anything. And I've done it. I've reached out to people. And yeah, I was self-conscious about doing it to begin with, but once I did, it helped. And I mean, that was when I was younger, like when I was 23, 24, and stuff like that. When I was on the drugs, I didn't care. But now, I mean, after that, it was when I realized that when I opened up, it did me a lot more good than bottling it up and being angry all the time. So yeah, anyways, I was ending the video and then I went off on a rant again. I apologize. So just remember that you're not alone in no matter what you're going through. Please, if you need to talk to somebody, it doesn't have to be me. I'm not a psychologist, so just remember, I'm putting it out there. I am not a doctor. Because I know some people are going to say, are you a doctor? Da, 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 da. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. So I am posting. I am not a doctor. These are my thoughts and opinions. And yeah, just reach out to somebody if you need to. Know that we are always here. Myself, Zoe, anybody in the coloring community. We are all here if you need to talk about anything. And just remember to stay safe, be kind, keep smiling. You're not alone. And happy coloring, dreamers. And let me know what you think. Bye.